everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Bri and welcome back to my channel Blossom with Bri. And this week we're going to be talking about grief, loss, death, and transmutation, which are all indicators of change essentially. So let's get started. So grief has always been a big part of my life, whether it be the loss of someone close to me, the loss of something close to my heart, or the death of an idea or perspective. I think one of the biggest lessons that life is trying to teach me right now is understanding the transience of life. The only thing permanent in life is change, so you can either stay stagnant or move with it. And that's something that I'm slowly starting to incorporate into my understanding of like how life works, I guess. So yeah, I mean, the abandonment issues are a thing, not necessarily physical abandonment, but the emotional abandonment is very real when it comes to my, I guess, collection traumas that I have accumulated over the years. I struggled with balancing being attached from being detached and living in the present moment. So in my head, like, why get attached to someone or something if it's just gonna leave? You know, why form a connection with someone when they're not meant to be in your life forever? Or why actually enjoy this brief moment when there's a possibility of sadness coming right after it? So I would actually force myself to not be happy in certain situations that actually call for happiness, just so I wouldn't be sad, I guess, like later, I guess, in life. So I lived a lot of my life in neutral, which isn't healthy, because I think that's just a form of unhealthy detachment from life, and it was kind of extreme. So I feel like that's something that I'm definitely working on, you know, like feeling emotions again, but not letting emotions actually dictate my behaviors in my life. So yeah, abandonment is like a big fear of mine. Change, honestly, is a big fear in my life that I've been overcoming these past 2 years, to be honest, unconsciously, actually. Well, consciously, kind of unconsciously. It's kind of just been like unfolding by itself. And now that I'm actually paying attention, you know, I'm actually fixing that shit a lot quicker. So I think something that we really have to remember is that everything in our life is a tool, whether it be the people in our lives, the things in our lives, I guess, or ideas. So I've said this in so many other videos now, like I'm gonna embed it into our heads, like everything is a tool. Now, these tools are here to help you learn, grow, and expand, and even love. You know, like your love and connection with certain tools will always be there, even if your tool has moved on. Remember, energy can be created, but not yet destroyed, as far as we know esoterically. So we can use these memories that we've had with our tools to help aid us with our growth and expansion in life. So say for instance, your first love and your first heartbreak, you know, one and the same. That person is a tool pretty much, because, you know, they're helping with your growth and expansion. You know, we've all been there, first love and first heartbreak. Felt like shit. Very influential. Let's just leave it there. Felt like, yeah. But, you know, it did help us in our life because it helped us learn and expand as a person. Now, hear me out. So there was something about that person that attracted you to them. Disregard their looks, but there's something that maybe they had, like a talent, an interest, a knowledge of a certain field that piqued your interest. So say for example, you were attracted to a musician. So you got to see the process of them writing a song, them actually producing it, and them actually publishing that actual song. And I guess with that repeated exposure, you started to realize, hey, like I could do this. And, you know, I'm actually really passionate about that. So even though you guys did break up, obviously, because it's your first heartbreak, maybe, even though it didn't play out like you thought it would, you did gain something from it. You discovered a passion of yours, or Now, see another example. You fell in love with somebody who is about to be a doctor or is a doctor. So, you know, you guys talked about medical shit. And you discover like, hey, I'm actually really interested in like how the body works, you know, biology, medicine. Maybe you don't necessarily want to be a doctor, but you discover that you have an interest for how the body works, and you may want to become like a nurse or a physical therapist, something along those lines. And, you know, you gain something from that person. Or even if you don't want to become any of those things, you learn something new about medicine and how the body works. So, you know, you gotta thank them for that, even though they shattered your heart into a million pieces. But it's okay, because it helped us learn and grow as a spirit, which is the job of a tool. Y'all are like, fuck that shit, fuck that person. I feel you, to be honest, but you know, it took me a lot to get to this point in my life. So, coping with grief. How do I cope with grief? So, the way I do it is not pretty, it's not popular, but honestly, it feels right for me, so that's why I do it. And I just feel the shit. I feel despair, I feel sorrow, depression, grief, whatever the fuck, like whatever comes my way, I just embrace it. I don't try to numb or distract myself with activities or substances. I mean, not anymore at least, but I just feel it. And, you know, I just embrace whatever arises in me, and then I either express it creatively or I just talk to someone, really depending on like what I want to do at that moment. You just have to let your emotions flow. Don't emotionally constipate yourself. Don't let all these emotions bottle up to the point where like God has to send another tool in your life to kind of act as an emotional laxative, and that's not fun. So just let it flow. Sorry for that analogy or metaphor. Just, you know, embrace whatever happens and just don't judge yourself at the end of the day, because, yeah, just don't judge yourself. Don't set a timeline for your grieving process, you know, depending on the situation. Like, you can grieve for years or you can grieve for a few weeks. Like, for example, my mom passed away, it's 2020. 2020 is coming up, so about 5 years now. She died in 2015 in July, and like, I'm still grieving, which is okay, you know, like, it's not to the point where like it runs my life, but I still feel, I guess, I don't know how to explain it, like, yeah, like I'm still grieving, versus, you know, that's 5 years, versus like me getting in an argument with a friend and us ending our friendship. I may grieve for maybe a few weeks, you know, so it really just depends on the situation and how impactful it was in your life. Just don't judge yourself for it. Don't just sit here like, hey, like, you know, it's been 5 years, like, why am I still upset about this? Like, no, like, grieving is natural. Just let it happen, and, you know, just don't let it dictate your life and like how you move, but at the end of the day, just like be accepting. And also, don't let anybody tell you how you're supposed to feel. I hate that shit. That's my pet peeve. Like, don't fucking tell me that I'm not supposed to be depressed about something, or I'm not supposed to be upset about something that happened in my life. Like, it's fucking my life, it's not fucking yours, and you don't have the right to tell me how something is supposed to affect me. You're a little trigger there, Bri, aren't you? So yeah, don't let anybody tell you how you're supposed to feel. Just be honest with yourself, because that's the only way that you can heal. Just treat yourself how you would treat a child, because we're all children in adult costumes, pretty much. So just be gentle, be honest with yourself, and do what makes you comfortable, not what makes other people comfortable. Obviously, like, don't harm yourself or harm others, but at the end of the day, this is your grieving process, not anybody else's. So you have to do what's right for yourself. Just remember that grief is natural, it's essential to our growth, and it's an indication that there are changes happening in our life, which are always for our benefit. So yeah, that's essentially how I deal with grief and the grieving process. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe this video. Also, check out my other videos, I almost forgot, that talk about different activities and supplements to help lighten your load. Yeah, temporarily at least. Remember, these are tools. They're just here to help you when, you know, shit's getting deep and you kind of need something to help you out a little bit. But remember, the only person that can help you in your grieving process is yourself. So keep that in mind. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. It's blossomwithbri_. And I think that's about it. I'll either see you in my next video or in 2020. Whichever one comes first. Yeah, this is it. Just share this video with a friend and have a good one. Bye.